golden ratio may be the fundamental constant of nature. It is a ratio that is fundamental to circumscribed equilateral triangles, and it's weirdly ubiquitous in the universe, appearing everywhere from the quantum to celestial scales. Ever so interestingly, it appears in black holes.
I don't want to fly into a black hole! I wish I never see your existence!
Okay, let's get serious.
So we see the eight-spoked wheel, which places Nostradamus in harmony with the Mayan calendar of eight, the Buddhist Dharmic wheel of eight, and the astronomical pattern of alignment of the constellations of eight on December the 21st, 2012. Now, here we go for those in the West. This is very, very important because we now bring Jesus Christ squarely into the same prophecy based on the key that legend has it he gave to the Gnostics of ancient Egypt. And we're going to look at the slide, and this is the key, and I call your attention to the symbol in the center, and there you have it, the eight-spoked wheel. If this is the key to heaven, as the Gnostics say Jesus told them, then we have the eight-spoked wheel of Jesus, the eight-spoked wheel of Nostradamus, the eight-spoked wheel in the alignment of the constellations, the eight-spoked wheel of Buddha, and the eight-spoked wheel of Pakal Votan, all pointing in one direction, and that is December the 21st, 2012. Okay, back to the Coptic key, all right? Let's go back and show the Coptic key again, and here it is. Okay, now, your meditation takes you to that fourth where you cover yourself with the sign of eight that you see on the front of the speaker's plane. Now, I'll cover that with you a bit later about the sign of eight, and those who have come here for a long time will remember something that's very critical now with 2012 coming up, and that is the discovery of the 8 planets in an order that was consistent with the scriptures, the Greek scriptures. That's very interesting, and we're going to go into that. Take a look at it next week.
For a second. Here are 3 quick facts for you science heads. The golden ratio is the precise point where a black hole's modified specific heat changes from positive to negative. And it is part of the equation for the lower bound on black hole entropy. The golden ratio even relates the loop quantum gravity parameter to black hole entropy.
Why does this support the claim that the golden ratio is the fundamental constant of nature? Because a theory of everything must unite general relativity with quantum mechanics, and a black hole is where these 2 theories converge at their limits. Okay, so.
You don't have to write it down. And I'll tell you something, and I haven't reached the point yet, but I am waiting for one of you, and I know that I get some pretty good people in here who are pretty scientifically minded to find out that this is some kind of a scientific equation somewhere along the line. Fourfold nature, that's fine. The five senses, that's fine. The altar is 5 and all of this kind of business. The sacrifice is fine. The 5th month is May and so forth when the Passover takes place. But I honestly believe, whether it be 4.555 or 45.55 or 455.5, I wait. But that's the number. And what Jesus said to do was focus yourself on the sign, say the name once, and hold the number in your hand. Now, you say, well, I'm not going to go do all that. Well, nobody said you had to. The point is, do you want to? The point is, are you at a point in your, what in God's name is this going to, how is this going to hurt you? Let me ask you this. How is it, what did Jesus say? I will give you a new name that no man knows. I will give you a white stone. I will give you a number. But now when you get to the point of somebody giving it to you, and I can see you looking at me, this is pretty freaky stuff. What is this guy doing? But say, do you want to or not? You know what I got in the most trouble? I really got people freaked out more than anything. When I first started doing this stuff, I told them God wasn't an American. What? God bless America, don't tell me that. Then they got all of these English people running around Jerusalem, Peter, Paul, and Mary, and Timothy, and Paul. What are all these guys doing in Palestine? Find me somebody named Mary in Palestine. So now you're into something different, aren't you? You want to get in touch with people. You want answers to your prayers, don't you? Do you know you're going to have to get it from somebody that's 6,000 years advanced beyond you in intellectualism and understanding? And you want to talk to these people? And you want to go up to them and say, now I lay me down to sleep. I lay the Lord my soul to keep. If I awake before I die, God bless Mommy. Let me have the new car. I'll never do it again. Oh, Jesus. Or do you want to? Or do you want to? Do you want to do it right? Okay. Okay.
Scientific report on 4555. What's perplexing scientists are new observations made of a large solitary elliptical galaxy called NGC 4555. Elliptical galaxies are identified by their lack of spiral arms and often aging star population. NGC 4555 is surrounded by a gas cloud 400,000 light years wide and a searing 18 million degrees Fahrenheit in temperature. According to conventional logic, the galaxy's hot gas should escape into space, but that's not what is happening. Instead, the gas cloud continues to envelop the galaxy as though held in place by some veiled force. Chandra scientists suspect the force may be coming from a halo of dark matter. Folks, what the heck do you want? The thing has got a halo around it. And it's the only one. Hit it again, please. There she is. Halo and all. In your old hometown. Let's define the word halo just for a minute, okay? I want you to one little spot that I want to define the word halo. All this stuff is, this is what I wanted to define it. Think of 4555 as the place that I'm saying it is. The aura of majesty or glory surrounding a thing that is regarded with reverence, awe, and sentiment. That's what's around it. So we have to deal with dark matter, which is the 90% of the universe. Now, when we start to think of this, and we start to think that dark matter makes up 90% of the universe, and we can only see 10%, let's try to see if we can find scriptures in the Bible that will connect what we call God, and we now know is the supreme photon, to dark matter. Let's go back to that statement by Gary Toller in the next slide. 90% of matter in the universe is missing or unseen dark matter. Let's get some Bible scriptures in here. Psalms 18:11. He made darkness his secret place. So he dwells in the dark matter. 1 Kings 8:12. The Lord said that he would dwell in the thick darkness. Isaiah 45:3. And I will give you the treasures of darkness and the hidden riches of secret places, that you may know me. So here in the 90% that we have no clue is out there as far as our ability to see it or experience it is concerned, we have shown the Bible saying that's where God exists.
Bear with me through some really weird math right now, and I'll reward you with some amazing footage of John Malkovich getting a pie in the face. There's a type of mathematics called matrix mathematics. No, not that type of matrix. Matrix math is the type of math that quantum physics uses in its formulas. Without getting too technical, this is an example of a matrix. A matrix is just a group of numbers that are arranged in columns and rows. And there's a certain amount of combinations for these numbers inside the matrix. Like if a matrix has 4 numbers inside it, there are 24 different possible combinations for those 4 numbers. Quantum mechanics uses matrices that are binary, so they only contain various combinations of 2 numbers. Each of these combinations of numbers has a value. It's called an eigenvalue. Some eigenvalues are called trivial. These are values like 1, 2, and 0. And some are called non-trivial. And those are all sorts of more complex-looking numbers. So, here's the interesting part. Where's that interesting part? Oh, yes, here. The highest probability non-trivial eigenvalues that show up in binary matrices are, ready for this, the golden ratio and -1 over the golden ratio. So we now see a deep link between black holes and quantum mechanics because the golden ratio appears deeply in both black hole physics and in quantum mechanics.
We're going to go into the meditation right now. And what I am asking you to do, all right, is if you want to do this, then you come and I'll give you one of these cards. All right? If you don't want to get involved in this, no problem. There is no problem. If you're not going to discipline yourself to your meditation and to working on this, don't come. And I would ask you also not to repeat this stuff to people. Because these are for people who are willing to disciple themselves to Jesus. In other words, that which we know as Jesus is the universal cosmic entity. Call it ET, call it whatever. But it has given you specific instructions about making contact. Do you want to? And then once you make this contact, you'll come to me and say, hey, these 2 guys showed up. What do I say? And then I'll tell you. Okay? Isn't it amazing how freaky this gets when you take it out of religion? Because religion, you can't get in any trouble. Who's going to fall asleep in there? You give money, you sing Amazing Grace, get the hell out. And who cares? Really, who cares? Nothing ever happens. You don't believe any of this stuff. Fish swallowing people, talking snakes and everything. You don't believe any of it anyhow, so what the heck's the difference? But you do it for the kids' sake because you want them to grow up and be maniacs like us. I mean, kids got to have a psychiatrist just like you have, so let's put them through the same thing. Now all of a sudden, you're being introduced to those who are coming. Closer than your breath. Sitting right in the chair next to you. I'm sure sitting right in the chair next to you. And if you could see who's sitting in the chair next to you, you'd get up and you'd run out the door. But are you willing? This is real. It's real now. So here we go. We'll do the meditation. I have the card. I'll give them to you. You use them in your meditation. And as I explained to you, this is what you do. You take the symbol. You stare at the symbol. You do not blink your eyes. Your eyes burn. It impregnates itself. That is the symbol given by Jesus. And I want you to go into your mind knowing that is the symbol given by Jesus.
Is that going to be on the card you're giving out now?
Yes. After you take that, you close your eyes. You have that symbol burned into your mind. You're saying Azozio. Once. He didn't ask you to say it twice. He said specifically once.
Each time you meditate?
Yeah. You hold it in your hand and say 4555. And I'll give you some information about that. If the guy shows up, say, we know what Azozio means, and we're pretty sure about the symbol. We're not quite clear on the 4555. But it doesn't make any difference. It knows that you're working in the right direction. In other words, all this means is you've graduated. You've come out of Sunday school. You've come out of religion. See? You're seeing the changes in the world. You're seeing the changes in the universe. You're seeing the changes in the cosmos. You've seen what I've showed you in the stars about Pegasus. And now you're ready to take a step. And it's like anything else. If you get there and you've got the symbol and you've got Azozio and 4555, it's just like as if you went and somebody, you want to call it an angel, is going to say, Charlie, there's a lady down there and she's got the password. Let her in. Where'd you get it from? Well, you know, the nut and fork and River's going around shooting his mouth off, telling everybody. Okay. All right? Okay. So let us, we'll go in. Let me say goodbye to you. And how can I, well, we'll figure this out. You call me or, right. This is it. I'm not doing this again until I'm told to do it again. And I don't want you going to people who are not here and telling them about this. I don't want you telling anybody about this. This is for you personally. All right? I don't want to hear works, doesn't work. I don't want to hear anything. This is for you to use personally. It is only for one thing, for your growth, for your contact with the universe, with God, if you would, for your children, for your family, and to protect you from this horde that is out there that you call your society. This destruction that is out there, which has been so brutal to everything that is of God and of life and of good. Okay? That's it. When I am instructed to do it beyond today, then we'll do it again. But I have not been so instructed. And this is very scary to me because I know how significant this is. And I know how, when you give somebody a password and so forth, and Jesus gave it to his disciples. So you have to decide if you're one. If you say, well, yeah, I'm a Jesus. Jesus being a Jesus disciple doesn't mean you put something on your bumper sticker that says, honk if you like Jesus and all that. It means, do you practice the single eye? Do you cast your energy to the right side? Do you seek within yourself for the power? That's what he said to do. Do you seek first within yourself for the power? Do you separate from the thoughts of the mind? These are all the things that he said to do. Do you touch the pineal gland? If you do, then you're a disciple. Then he would want you to have this because then you're ready. And then if you don't, once again, if you lose track of what these things mean, I'll show them to you in Grolier's. I will make a copy for you of Grolier's breaking down to that word Azozio so you know exactly what they mean. If you want that, you tell Joan, I'll make copies for you.
I was able to experiment with a quantum computational device in my lifetime, and now I'm confident that I will be able to.
How amazing it is that we, with our monkey heritage and monkey brains and monkey fingers, have somehow lucked into a brain that allows us to ask legitimate questions about the nature of physical reality. That's so cool.
It's that human risk to go forth into that unknown frontier. Whether it's space exploration or quantum exploration, we do it because we must. We do it because that's what it means to be human.
The Gnostic faith was subjugated out of existence before the creation of the canonical Bible, and before then, there were plenty of Christian texts that were available to the public, which the Gnostics all followed and believed in. Although remembered as heretics, the Gnostics saw themselves as genuine Christians. In a Gnostic gospel called the Apocalypse of Peter, the resurrected Jesus calls literalist Christianity an imitation church that distorted the teachings and ways of Christ.
We'll go to the next slide, and here's that Coptic key. All right? I want to hold on the slide just there for a minute for a reason. You see the seal, which is the 8-spoked wheel. You see the name of the seal is Azozio. And we went all through that, light absorbing and filtered by crystal and so forth. But also, if you look right under where it says this is its name, Azozio, you'll see it says hold this cipher 4555 in your hand. So now, we not only connect the wheel with 8 spokes to 2012, we connect 4555 to 2012. Hidden Meanings Conference Center at the Village Green Shopping Center, Route 9, Forked.
Physics allows the possibility of all the energy in the universe to eventually convert into a single conscious system that is itself a network of other conscious systems. a massive, technologically based collective consciousness.
Given enough time, anything that can happen will eventually happen. By this axiom, this system of universal consciousness has already emerged somewhere in the frames of space-time ahead of us. Because it is possible, it is inevitable. In fact, according to the evidence of retrocausality time loops, that inevitable future is co-creating us right now, just as we are co-creating it. When humanity discovers the theory of everything, it will usher in a new age of prosperity. For example, clean, cheap energy, leading to the eventual elimination of poverty. As a nonprofit, quantum gravity research relies on crowdfunding to support our scientific progress. Even a $5 donation is meaningful and moves this mission forward. To participate in the adventure, visit quantumgravityresearch.org and click on Support Our Work.